And that is, we are today for Change Health looking at collard greens. And the inspiration came from talking to a neighbor who's of another culture, and she wanted to know what dish could she prepare that would represent the African American culture. And so I was sharing with her that I would get back with her. And so in my thinking, I knew that this was a special weekend for our family, and I knew that my mother-in-law would be here with us. And so I've invited my mother-in-law to come into the kitchen and teach us how to make collard greens. And so before we logged off, we were just in the process of showing you that we clean the leaves of the collard greens first as they are whole. And we can actually show them how big that bunch was. So this is how big a bunch could be. This is a bunch of collard greens. Oh my, we can feed an entire family with that bunch. And it's only a minimal cost, only about $2 for this, right? It was $2.68 for this big bunch of greens. Now, I'm sure my mother-in-law is going to tell you that they can reduce in size as they're cooking, but in the process, when you go to prepare collard greens, that's what she's going to show you. But I just want to let you know that what we did already was wash each leaf from the bunch that we were going to prepare. And she also showed how
to remove the collard from the stalk of the green. And you just pull it off like that. And this has been washed 3 times. And then we are going to chop that up. And we have some we've already chopped up already. And we chop those up into smaller pieces, such as this. And we're going to put in 2 cups of water into our pot. And we're going to be using some vegan seasonings today. We have a vegan chickenless seasoning salt from Trader Joe's, as well as garlic powder and Himalayan salt. Now, because we're vegan, we're not going to use any turkey products or anything of that nature in our collards, but we're going to put in some of the Himalayan salt and just sprinkle that in the bottom with the water, and a little of the garlic powder. And then some of this seasoning. We're also going to use onion. We have a fresh onion here. We slice that up. And then we just put in our cut up pieces into the pot. And I like to layer them into the pot.
So layering your onion, some greens.
Of the greens. And then we just put some of the onion that we've already sliced up. We just put that on top into the pot, and then we add some more of the seasoning that we put in the water at first.
Right.
And so we just sprinkle that on, and then we layer in another layer of greens, onion, and some more of the seasoning. And the final layer, when we get to the top of the pot, we just add in a little olive oil, and we just drizzle on top of your greens. And then you just cover them, and you can put them on your stove. Now, normally when cooking a pot like this, you would have to cook these for 45 to an hour in order for them to be nice and tender. But I've been using the pressure cooker. And in the pressure cooker, I can cook a huge pot. It's a 8-quart pressure cooker, and we can cook a pot of greens in 30 minutes in the pressure cooker. And so that cuts down on your time, and they're so tender when you use the pressure cooker. So that's the easiest way to cook collard greens, and they're very nourishing for your body, and they are delicious.
And also, I wanted to say too, I know there are those who may not want to cook their greens so long, even though they're delicious cooked long, as my mother-in-law just said. you would just surround, put the water at the bottom and layer just as she just gave you the instructions, but just cook them for about 20 minutes, just enough for them to get steamed and softened, but they still have that bright green color, and you know that they're still edible. Actually, collard greens are edible even if you don't cook them.
Yes.
You can cut up collard greens and kale, and you can put them in a fresh salad. And so if you don't want to cook them at all, if that's your option, you can do that as well. If you don't want to add any salt, you don't have to add salt. I know with people from other cultures who may not have ever heard of collard greens or have never prepared them before, just like my mother-in-law just showed you, they are very easy to prepare. Very simple. There's not anything you have to do that's too complex to get a good green on your plate. And so I think that's it. I hope that you desire to prepare some greens. We actually have some cooked for you to show you so that you can know what they'll look like and what we're going to be enjoying this afternoon. We're going to enjoy a nice dish of collard greens. So that's our African American spotlight on soul food, and we hope that you try collard greens if you've never tried them before. They're a delicious, delicious option for some good nutrition to add to your diet. Happy Sabbath.